You don't realize how much efficiency actually matters until you live with it every single day. Not on paper, not in ads, not in spec sheets, but in real life. Morning traffic, weekend grocery runs, long highway drives, sudden detours, rising fuel costs, and the simple need for a vehicle that just works without asking for attention. And that's exactly where the 2026 Honda CR-V quietly steps in, not trying to shout, not trying to flex, but doing something far more impressive, delivering efficiency without compromise. At first glance, the CR-V doesn't beg for attention, and that's intentional. Honda understands something most automakers forget. The majority of drivers don't want drama. They want confidence. They want reliability. They want something that feels right the moment they sit down and turn the wheel. And with the 2026 CR-V, Honda isn't reinventing the wheel. They're refining it to near perfection. The moment you approach the vehicle, there's a sense of balance. The proportions feel deliberate. Nothing looks exaggerated. Nothing looks forced. The front fascia is clean, modern, and mature. This isn't a car chasing trends. It's a car setting a standard. The lines flow naturally, giving it a presence that feels upscale without trying too hard. It's the kind of design that ages well, and Honda knows that longevity is part of efficiency too. Open the door, and the first thing you notice is space. Not just physical space, but mental space. The cabin feels calm, thoughtfully laid out. No clutter, no unnecessary distractions. Everything is exactly where you expect it to be, and that familiarity creates instant comfort. This is a vehicle designed for people who live in their cars, not just drive them occasionally. Sit behind the wheel, and it becomes clear that Honda spent time listening to real drivers. The seating position is natural. Visibility is excellent. Controls fall easily to hand. You don't need a tutorial to understand this interior. It respects your time, and that respect is a form of efficiency most people never think about. Now, let's talk about what really defines the 2026 CR-V. How it moves. Honda is always focused on smooth, predictable power delivery, and this generation continues that philosophy. Acceleration feels linear. Throttle response is tuned for real-world driving, not exaggerated numbers. You press the pedal, and the car responds exactly as you expect. No lag, no drama, just confidence. Efficiency here isn't just about fuel economy. It's about reducing friction in every aspect of driving. The transmission works quietly in the background, making decisions you don't notice because they're the right ones. Steering is light but precise. Suspension tuning absorbs imperfections without feeling soft or disconnected. This is balance at work. On city streets, the CR-V feels agile and composed. It's easy to maneuver, easy to park, easy to live with. Stop-and-go traffic doesn't feel exhausting because the vehicle isn't fighting you. It flows with the rhythm of the road, and that makes a bigger difference than most people realize. On the highway, that calmness continues. Wind noise is minimal. Road noise is well controlled. The cabin feels stable and planted, even at higher speeds. Long drives don't drain you because the vehicle isn't constantly demanding attention. This is where Honda's philosophy truly shines. Efficiency as a form of comfort. Technology in the 2026 CR-V is present, but not overwhelming. The infotainment system is responsive and intuitive. Smartphone integration works seamlessly, which means less time fiddling with menus and more time focused on the road. The digital displays provide clear information without clutter, reinforcing the idea that technology should support driving, not dominate it. Safety systems operate quietly in the background. Lane assistance, adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation. These features don't constantly beep or flash unless necessary. They're there as a safety net, not a source of stress. That subtlety is intentional and it matters. Efficiency also means peace of mind, and Honda's reputation plays a huge role here. Owners choose CR versus not just what they offer today, but for what they promise years down the line. Lower maintenance costs, strong resale value, and long-term reliability are all part of the equation. This is efficiency measured over ownership, not just miles per gallon. Cargo space in the 2026 CR-V continues to impress. Whether you're hauling groceries, luggage, sports gear, or everyday life, the space adapts easily. fold the seats down, and you suddenly have room for bigger plans. This flexibility turns the CR-V into more than just transportation. It becomes a tool for living. Rear seat passengers benefit just as much as the driver. Legroom is generous. Headroom is ample. Long rides don't feel cramped. This is a family vehicle without feeling like a compromise to the person behind the wheel. Everyone gets comfort, and that's rare. What makes the 2026 CR-V especially compelling is how little it asks from you. It doesn't require constant attention. It doesn't demand lifestyle changes. It fits into your routine effortlessly, and that's where its true value lies. Honda understands that modern efficiency isn't about doing less. It's about doing more with less effort, less stress, less waste, less distraction, more comfort, more reliability, more confidence. As the automotive world chases electrification, radical design, and experimental technology, the CR-V stands as a reminder that refinement still matters, that consistency still matters, that doing the fundamentals right can be more powerful than chasing the spotlight. And the most impressive part? The CR-V does all of this without shouting about it. It doesn't need bold claims or exaggerated promises. It simply delivers day after day, mile after mile. This is efficiency without compromise, not because it sacrifices excitement, but because it redefines what excitement really is. Confidence, comfort, reliability, balance. And this is just the beginning of what the 2026 Honda CR-V brings to the table. And what happens next is where the 2026 Honda CR-V really separates itself from the noise, because once the initial calm settles in, you start noticing the small decisions Honda made that quietly improve your everyday experience. These are not features designed to impress you in a showroom for 5 minutes. These are details you appreciate weeks, months, and years later, when the car feels just as good as the day you brought it home. As you spend more time inside the CR-V, the materials begin to tell their own story. Soft touch surfaces are placed exactly where your hands naturally rest. Nothing feels cheap, nothing feels overdone. Honda understands that true quality doesn't scream, it reassures. Even after hours behind the wheel, the interior doesn't feel tiring. The textures, the layout, the ergonomics all work together to create a space that feels thoughtfully human. And then there's the quiet confidence of how everything fits together. Doors close with solid, reassuring sound. Buttons respond with consistent feedback. Screens don't lag. Controls don't confuse, and nothing feels like it was added just to chase a trend. This is design driven by use, not by marketing slides. Now let's talk about efficiency in a way most people don't. Efficiency is not just about how much fuel you save. It's about how much energy you don't waste, your own energy. The CR-V doesn't demand adaptation. You don't need to relearn habits or adjust your driving style. It meets you where you are,